They say here, there's a cow. There's a cow. Everything that I say is all flow. Nothing is scripted. It's just I just roll with it, and based on how I feel, and what I interpret, and what I've experienced, and what I see happening in other people's lives. It's pretty significant right now, and it's pretty detrimental. For me personally, I feel that there's this huge. I feel completely separated from what I always held as my community. I was always kind of like a gatherer, like brought people together. But now that it seems like that superpower went away, and a lot of people, it's not so much I'm blaming the community, but my community was able to like move mountains. We weren't like a toxic community. But a lot of them I feel like there was some there we all go through toxic moments and stuff, but I feel that those moments are being hyper fixated on versus finding the solutions to those issues, because as a collective, I think we're having a hard time facing some things like humility or shame, or these conditioned things that we're terrified of. The whole I'm busy, I got to do this. And it's the consistency of busy is the lack of self-reflection, and we are running from ourselves. And it's really important to be okay with not being okay. It's really important for us to tell each other it's okay to feel what you're feeling. It's okay to take your space. It's not okay to project your anger and the things that are going on within you out onto me. But we've created an environment that's unsafe to say those things because we dismiss and devalue vulnerability as a weakness, and it's absolutely not. And that's a big part of this whole going the wrong direction. And the people who are part of your life for most of your life shouldn't not be part of your life because you're growing out of them. You don't look at Native Americans and they don't just grow out of their community. They become embedded into it. They find solutions and they fix their problems. And they have there's things, and the exile is usually for extreme reasons. But we dangle that carrot in front of everybody to keep in mind. Don't want to fear being casted out of a society, of a community that benefits you financially, even if you have to be fake for it. And so we dismiss and devalue each other for these things that we find significant. And it's detrimental on the mental health of other people who are being authentic. Authenticity is not being better than other people. It's about understanding that all hurt is hurt the same. And it's one of my friends this year who had committed suicide had said to me, the last thing he said to me was, if we only knew what we were doing to each other. If only we knew what we were doing to each other. That's the last thing he said to me. And that just resonated so hard. And there's part of that reason why I feel it's not a resistance to change that I am doing, because I'm all about change. I've always been. I am the Sagittarius of fluctuation and free flow. If I was afraid to change, I wouldn't be putting and casting out this stuff online. If I was so toxic, that's a self-reflection of somebody else who, when someone's calling you names, when someone's belittling you, that's, we need to find compassion within that and not just discard them either, even though they were being kind of a dick. Now there are levels of abuse and such, but you don't have to tolerate that. But I think we really need to point those things out when people are projecting. But we need to create the safe space for them to be real, to tap into those things that are causing them to do it, because that's our conditioned stance in our society. We're conditioned to be insecure. We're conditioned to fear. Fear isn't something we misjudge fear as something so horrible. Fear is part of our survival tactic. It's about integrating it and understanding the discernment. Because if you were just all love and there wasn't fear at all, then you would be in denial, which would make you inauthentic, which negates the process of what we're trying to get to. It's okay to fear. It's worse to deny your emotions. It's okay to express your fears. It's okay. Your community should help protect you. And your community is the people who were there for a long time, that were good people, that suddenly have found themselves in some type of darkness. And that darkness gets projected onto you. It's really difficult and really hard. And it is alienating and isolating, and it creates suicidal thoughts in you. I want you to know that you're important. I want you to know I hear you. I want you to know I'm sorry. I'm sorry for not always being there. I'm sorry when I have to take the time for myself. I'm sorry when I myself become flaky and something that I don't talk about because I myself have trauma to feeling misunderstood if I explain and then I over explain and then I'm told why my feelings aren't valued or valid. We are all going through this together. It's important to be the kindness and the change we wish to see because all that other stuff doesn't matter. When the four roads come and meet from what we're running from behind, we're going to realize that all there is to hold on to is each other. We need to find a method to meet each other halfway because nobody wants to just jump into somebody else's life anymore. We all want to be heard. I'm cool as shit. You know, everyone wants me a part of their lives, but I want to be a part of theirs too. But if you look at where I'm at, it's peaceful. Nobody's telling me or judging me for what and how I'm acting or watching how I'm dealing with my emotions. I also forage for wild mushrooms. I make medicines. I can tell you what you can't and can't eat out in nature. I'm not what a lot of people perceive me as. You know, it's interesting when you see somebody's perspective of you, even the people you know. It's it's like they don't know you anymore. Like something shifted and changed, like a lizard possession. It's so bizarre, but it's maybe their shadows within themselves, a frequency shift that's changed everybody, or they just need to come into that light. Maybe it is all intentionally universal, but either way, I feel the universe wants us to fight to come back together with the lessons that we've learned, and I think that's important to start doing that now because things are changing rapidly and things people don't understand. I'm not I'm not lazy. The world's really hard right now. The world is very expensive and demands every bit of you. We are all creative. We all have talents. We were all indoctrinated to repress that. We were all made to feel we're not good enough to keep us where we're at, to keep us fighting each other. It's really important right now to take those emotions and externalize them, not onto somebody, but through a medium, to tangibilize it, to see it what it is externally outside of yourself. We need to bring back nurture. We need to see ourselves inside, and we need to see each other from the inside and love. And we need to be free to be ourselves without being judged, questioned, or ridiculed, because that creates an unsafe environment emotionally. We need to integrate the old with the new. We need to integrate our emotions with the nurture, because now we're allowed to talk about our emotions somewhat, but nurture has been destroyed. It's really hard to even just find people that want to cook like together collectively, conscious while being present. Everyone's too busy blaming each other instead of taking accountability because of the real fear that is fear isn't letting go of the things that don't serve you aren't your friends. The things that don't serve you are resentment, hate, and envy. That's the message. And we are responsible for each other's happiness. We're responsible for our own happiness as well. Without community, without connection, we do not thrive. We can only fake it. So, I love you. To the moon and back. It's okay to not be okay.